My name's Krallman. I live in Topeka, Kansas, and I'm originally from way out west, Goodland, Kansas, up in the northwest corner of Kansas. And I ended up coming to Topeka to go to college, but my background in art was my aunt was an artist, and she always inspired me, and so I thought, well, that sounds like kind of a fun career to have. And so that's when I decided that's how I wanted to make a living, is creating artwork. And I came from a very small community, kind of like Alva, actually. And in fact, I grew up on a farm out in western Kansas and went to the very last one-room schoolhouse in the state of Kansas. So anyway, when I came to the city, Topeka, it was kind of overwhelming, but I really enjoyed going to Washburn University. I graduated in 1981 with a degree in fine arts, and then I was in commercial art for about 22 years and decided to transition over into fine art, which I've been doing for about 28 years. I just gave away my age. So anyway, I've been in the fine art for that amount of time and show throughout the Midwest. I do some national shows and international experience with shows as well. So I'm going to pass it over to Bev here, my friend, and she's also a Washburn grad, so she'll give you a little background.
Hi, I'm Beverly Dodge Radefeld. I went to Washburn. I have a BFA. I started at Washburn because I took one of those tests that you take before you go to college that tells you what you'd like to do. And I told my folks I would go to college, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I ended up with a BFA from Washburn University. After graduation, I went to work for Menninger Foundation as an activities therapist, which I loved. But when I decided to have kids, I stopped that, stayed home with the kids, but also worked in the family electronics business, but always had the art in the background. And so recently retired, and that now I've been contacted by a few wonderful galleries, and so I'm showing in galleries and doing my thing, and now I'm old, much older than other people in this couple. So, and I have done a lot of soft sculpture. I had a son that developed leukemia, and had a friend that had Osage County Quilt Factory, and I was making puppets to work with the kids that were sick in the hospital. My friend asked me to come and show what I was doing with that, and I went, and that whole world of soft sculpture just went through the roof. I have shown all over the world. I've shown dolls in 2 places in England, Ireland, Japan, all over the United States. And I still enjoy that very much, but as you hit old age, the arthritis takes some of that agility from the fingers, so I'm doing mostly paintings now and enjoying every bit of it. Callie will tell you how it was her idea to start this. She invited me to go for a traveling show that she was putting together, and that's how I met Callie. Go for it.
Okay, that was about 2015, I think. And I put together a traveling all-women's show and got a chance to meet Bev. I'd heard of Bev for years and knew of her work, but I never had met her in person. And so this traveling show, we got to meet each other, and then Bev took a workshop that I was teaching, so I got to know her more. And 2 workshops. And so I was always fascinated how our styles are so different, because we could be looking at the same thing and I'm like, what are you seeing here? I'm not seeing what you're seeing, and because I'm more representational, and she has a way of abstracting things in such a beautiful way. And one time we were traveling, bringing artwork back from an exhibit, and we're always stopping to photograph, for the money shot. And so I brought up the idea, well, what if we painted the same places and did an entire show of those works? And so that's how it got started. And then it became a traveling show. And so we're very happy to have it here in Alva, Oklahoma. So, in this wonderful gallery, and it's a beautiful show. So.
And it's hung magnificently.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah, really good. I have to point out that my husband always said, "Why can't you paint like Callie?" And I go, "You can't. I can't do it. We just do my own thing." So, well, my family loves her work. So,
But it's a nice contrast.
yeah.
Is there anything particularly that inspires you? I know you like the prairie. Do you have certain things that inspire you to paint?
You want to go first?
I'm not really sure. I just, the prairie has such a broad expanse, and I see color in no matter what I do, whether it's there or not. So, I really enjoy painting it, but putting color in places that other people don't see it. And I see shapes rather than the realistic that Callie does. So they're very different. But we get along, so. And we love the traveling to places and stop, and she calls it the money shot. I mean, you can be driving along and other people wouldn't see anything. She sees the money shot and I see the color. So I think we're really good together, apart. So.
Yeah, and I think for me, growing up as a farm girl, we had about a 1,500-acre farm, which we had free roam of. I mean, we just roam wherever we wanted to, as long as we made it back for a meal. And so I really connected, I think, early to the land, the earth, and of course, out in western Kansas, there's like 4 trees. So when I moved to eastern Kansas, I was enamored by all these beautiful trees and the Flint Hills, and so I enjoy combining, the rolling hills, the creeks. I love to paint creeks and water, and so just I think
her water is magnificent.
Oh.
I
So-
can't do her water.
I think that just at an early age, being on the farm and having that connection to the soil, it's just in me and always will be. So I do paint other things, but it's always the landscape that inspires me. So